What's good with y'all? Hello, hey, hi, it's me, Mr. Delo G, and welcome back to This Is Life. So tomorrow I have a job interview, and I do not want to go. I need to go, but I don't want to go. Reason being why I need to go, just like anybody else, I imagine watching this, we broke. Maybe you're not broke, but I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? I don't got money. And more to that point, I did have a job, and in April, I took a leap of faith and I left my job in order to pursue my brand, which I've had for 15 years, since 2010, since I was 18. I'm 33 right now. And the year before that, 2024, and in 2023, I came through like really hard time, and I was like, you know what, like I seen what it is to really not live, like almost like want to take, not almost, I see what it is to not want to live and to want to take your life and to, you know, be stuck in this pattern where it's just like go to work, wake up, life sucks. And it's like I want to take a real leap of faith, and I did that. I planned everything out as best I could, but as we know, man plans and God laughs. Is my face like ashy? Sorry if it is. Man plans and God laughs, and things did not go my way. No matter how hard I tried, I saw no fruits of my labor. I released like 6 different times, remixing things, trying harder than I did last time. And throughout this year, since April, nothing worked, bro. Nothing worked. So here it is, October, and my face looks so ashy, bro. It looks so like, you know what I mean? Not a good light, but here it is, October, and I've been out of a job since April. But in this, what I can say is that God has kept me, because I'm still in my apartment. My rent has been due since April, but I'm still in my apartment. Besides the times that I fasted, I have not missed a meal. And you know, I thank God for that, because he's been keeping me through this. We can get into this later, but it's just, you know, he's been teaching me a lot of things, and he's been bringing me up immensely, you know, working on me immensely, and I feel it and I see it and I recognize it. But where we are now is I've been applying, and you know, I have no choice. I feel like I have no choice. I have a choice, something I'm gonna do, and I've been doing with my own hands while I wait for a job to come through. But I feel like I gotta go take this job. And like I said, of course I need money. Of course I need money, but it's like knowing what I came from, remembering the reasons why I left my job, the feelings of, and I'm sure most of you probably can relate to this. 80 to 90% of you, if not 100, can relate to this. Going to a job that you hate or that you really don't like. And it's an energy. I'm a very energy-based person. It's an energy that surrounds that. You wake up in the morning tired to put on whatever you got to do, to get ready for whatever you got to do, to commute to your job. Mine was an hour and a half away. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I have to travel to Queens, so it's an hour and a half away. And you're already in a funk, and then you're amongst other people that are in a funk because they don't want to go to where they're going either, but they got to do what they got to do. So it's an energy thing you feel, and then you get to the place of employment, and it's like you got to deal with other people in their BS, and it's like, I could do it. I'm just not good at pretending. So it's like, if you don't like me and I don't like you, that's cool. Everybody don't got to like each other. But I'm the type where it's like, I'm not going to fake smile. I'm not going to be like, hey, JC, how's your day? And then turn around and punch him in his head. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. I can't do that. But for me, it was just like, it got really tiring. And then where I worked as a security guard in a homeless shelter. So it was just like being around with all the energy. People like don't want to be in a shelter. You know, it's just a lot of negative energy. And it was just really tearing me down, like really energetically tearing me apart. And you know, I made the leap. I took the leap of faith. I prayed about it, asked God. I'm like, hey, this job is getting progressively worse. People, me and the employees are getting, you know, like passive aggressive. Things are getting bad. So I'm like, God, I think I'm gonna leave the job. I asked him about it. I didn't feel no conviction, like no stay. So I planned out what I planned out, and I left. And like I said, things didn't go out the way I thought they would. So here it is, October, and I'm going into a job tomorrow, interview. It's for a warehouse position. And like I said, I know I need a job, but I don't want to be back in that space. It's a very weird, tough spot to be in. But I figured I haven't been on my channel in a minute. I've been really going through life, really like in the trenches with it. And it's hard for me, like I've been so down, so bad. It's hard for me to create when I'm not in a space of creativity. When I'm in a survival mode, I can't say, I shouldn't say I can't create. It's just very hard for me to create at the level that I want to create at, where I want to put all my energy into it. Like I want to be tired from creating, and I've just been tired from surviving. So God put it on my heart to say, hey, make a vlog out of this. And you know what I mean? Hopefully you guys that are watching now, you continue to watch the whole thing. I don't know how long it's going to be. This is about 5 minutes right now. So let's get to it. All right. It's the next morning. It's about 8:30. And I'm up and we are on our way. Professional dressing coming in 3, 2, 1. Here we are. So that's what I got on. Got on a button up, a little jacket over since it's cold outside and it looks like it might rain. Some black pants, they're actually cargos, and these are Space Jams or whatever, no, Cap and Grounds, they're 11s, but they're all black. And honestly, bro, this is the closest thing I have to professional. I haven't dressed up professionally in a long time, so hopefully, you know, this works. But what y'all think? If I take this off, I could take it off, but I could take it off and it actually looks better in my opinion, but it's just cold outside. So, you know, I don't want to, since I'll be moving boxes in a warehouse, you know, let me show them how strong I am and how great of an employee of a box mover I am. Oh! But yeah. Man. So what's going on, y'all? Hopefully, you know, my little transition wasn't too bad. Like I said, it's hard to create when haven't been in a creative space. But I'm gonna get back to it, I'm gonna get better. But I'm outside the job, the interview space. And like I voiced earlier, honestly, today wasn't so bad, but like I voiced earlier, it's just the energy that comes with going to work. It's just the energy that 90%, if not all, people have when they're going into work. They don't like their job, so it's just like everybody's short-tempered, everybody's, you know, don't want to look at each other, don't want to be bothered. Maybe they're not morning people. You know, you don't know what people have going on in their life, but, you know, it's just work makes it harder, and especially since you have to do it. It's like you have to have money, you have to have some type of income, you have to, you know, fund your life some way. So, you know, when you couple that with doing something you don't want to do, it's like I'm pretty sure I'm not telling you guys something that you don't know, you know. But here in New York, I guess, I don't know where you live, but maybe a different type of energy. But yeah, I just, man, I felt the anxiety that I used to feel when I was going back to my old security job. You know, sitting on a train, knowing that everybody has the same feeling. That's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. That same feeling is like, dang, bro, I did not miss that. I did not miss that feeling, bro. Like, it's not a good feeling to have. And, you know, it is what you got. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. But, you know what I mean? Oh, boy. I'll check in with y'all in a second. Let me go into this interview. This bitch packed, bro. God damn, boy.
He needs some milk.
I gonna cut that bitch out, you know. Nigga almost died, nigga. Fuck. The hell? Y'all see that? I almost died trying to record this video. So I just got back home from the interview and I got the job. like I said, the job was for a warehouse position. You know, like if any of you guys have ever worked at Amazon, I've never worked at Amazon, but I worked at FedEx like years back, and it's a job where you gotta like package the stuff, and you know they measure your productivity and things like that. So you know what I mean? It's nothing crazy, it's nothing great, but it was a job. And the lady, when she sat down to look at my resume, she saw that I had like a whole bunch of security experience. So she switched me over to security people, and then we talked and, you know, asked me a couple questions, and, you know, I got hired for it. So that's great. That's great. And, you know, I'm torn. I'm torn. At this time, I give, and like I said, I said my prayers, but I give God thanks. Despite what I want, despite what I may be looking for, I give God thanks that he gave me this job. You know, he allowed me to get this job. He allowed the people to be moved, and, you know, he touched whoever's hearts he had to touch for me to get this position. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for it. My only thing that I'm like torn about is that it's like I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to be free. I need money, but at the same time, I want to be free from the whole work, going to a 9-to-5 energy that's encompassed with it, that comes with going to a job. And that's the things, like, I haven't started a job yet, but it's like, you know, maybe I'll love it. Who knows? You know, I don't want to, you know, downcast it. I don't want to put it down. I may love the job, but just off the fact that it's a job and I want to be free, I want to be self-employed, I want one of my businesses to, you know, do something, is where I'm at. And, you know, it's $3 more than what I was getting in my last job. And that kind of also kills me, because it's like, when you put it into perspective like that, it's like you working, like, you're with a 9-to-5, your life. And I don't have a salary job. I don't have a career. You know, I've never been a person that's like focused on a career. I've always, like I said, I started my business when I was 18. I've always thought that this would be what it is that's gonna, you know, take me far. This is what I'm gonna do for my life. And, you know, man plans, God laughs. So, you know, here we are. But you know, I get paid hourly. But then it's like, as I get older, you know, as life, you become more conscious of expenses and things like that. I realize, like, I'm really, at a 9-to-5, my life is based off of an hour. You know what I mean? That's how it's broken into, an hour. And I'm getting $21 an hour. Don't want to sound ungrateful at all. My last job was 18. I'm getting 21, so that's $3 increase. But at the same time, it's like $3. My time is worth, $21 an hour. That's just the way I see it as. And like I said, I don't want to sound ungrateful. God, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I'm saying this in a way of, like, just looking at things as what they are and how they are. And I don't know what the schedule is going to be yet. I started in a couple weeks. The thing that's just like, to me, is just like, dang, like, you know, I remember what it was like at my last job. And I touched on this before. You know, you got to get up for it. You got to get up early. And then you got to travel to the job. And then now you get home. And, like, depending on what my schedule is like, you got to fit everything into that little bit of time that you're allotted. And that, for me, that's the gym. That's relaxation. Because when you come from work, most of the time, you just don't want to do anything. You want to, like, let the work that the day just, like, you know what I'm saying? You just want to just, man, I don't like that feeling. It's not a productive feeling. So I'm honestly very, very torn. But, you know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna take the job. I accepted the job already. I'm gonna ride this out. I'm gonna give it my best. But on the side, I'm gonna do my stuff. I'm gonna do, I don't know, I'm just gonna move forward in faith, honestly, bro. That's all I can really do. Move forward in faith. Move forward in faith. That's honestly the only thing. Keep praying. God knows my heart. God knows what I want. And I'm gonna share this with you guys. What I want, the way I see my life going, how I would like to live my life, is I want to be able to make money from my phone. Like, I want to be able to have, and I'll tell you what it is that I do, but my vision is to be able to make money from my phone. I don't want to be tied down to a job. I don't want to have to go someplace to earn income. I don't have to physically be someplace to earn income. I want my hands, my mind, and my energy to be how I make my income. And so what I've been doing, or what I paid a couple mentors for, is to learn how to sports bet. And when I say sports bet, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have heard of it. But if you haven't, sports betting is when you, say for example, football, you bet money on the outcome of the sports, where it could be the Eagles win the game, or they cover the spread, or XYZ. That's sports betting. Most of us sports bet, we don't realize that when you sports bet, most of us don't know that it's all rigged. So I paid for 3 mentorships at this point. I spent $2,500 to actually learn how to sports bet. And I mean, that's one of the things I want to do. I've been doing it for years now. Like at the beginning I'm losing, but now I'm getting better as I understand more how to, do things and, apply the knowledge that I have. And like, that's honestly what I want to do. My goal. And when I did leave my job early this year in April, that was my vision. I would sports bet to replace my job income. And then the money I make from sports betting, I will put into my brand. And as I told you guys multiple times, I've had my clothing brand since I was 18, 2010. I'm 33 years old right now. This is the first year, due to me not being able to, not having income, I actually had to like let my site go. Like, for all intents and purposes, the physical, or to say the digital footprint, the digital storefront for my site is shut down. Like I haven't been able to produce any clothes. I haven't been able to design anything. Right now, you can't go to my website, which killed me. It really killed me to let that go. But I didn't have the money for it. I didn't have the money to pay the monthly $58 for it. So that's my vision. That's the way I see myself living my life. With sports betting, sports are on 365 days of the year. Once you learn how to do it, it's no cap to it. There's no limit to what you can do. And I love that. I could go on my phone, have my certain apps, I could break down my games, put in my bet, and in X amount of hours, I could get back an X amount of return. I can make my weekly in a couple of hours for one game. And it's I'm going to say stress-free. If you have the wrong bet, sometimes the game, they play the game, and sometimes you get wrong. You get wrong sometimes. You're not always going to win. But it's like, relatively, compared to going to a 9 to 5, it's stress-free. Compared to a 9 to 5, it's stress-free. And I don't even watch the sports. I just want freedom. That's how I want to live my life, free. So, what I mean? That's the vision I have for myself. I would sports bet and then use the money, the funds, to create freely. I will use that to just create designs. And at this point, now that I'm making an ample amount of money from sports betting, it would change how I create for my brand, because then at that point I don't have to worry about, did somebody buy my stuff? Am I making sales? No, like I have a source of income that's big enough to the point where I could create whatever I want and don't have to worry about if somebody doesn't like it. That's the type of freedom that I want. I know my work is good. I believe in my work. It's a God-centered brand. So it's like, that's the freedom I want, to just be able to create and not have to worry about, oh man, nobody bought this or it didn't get X amount of likes. Who cares? I'm creating. I'm living in my energy. I'm doing what it is that I love to do. At that point, like, I can't go wrong. So I don't know, man. I'm definitely gonna try to keep up on this channel. I don't know if you guys have scrolled down. If you guys have been here before, like, I've done the motorcycle content. Love y'all. Respect. Appreciate y'all. If you're new here, for however you got to see this channel, appreciate you watching this long. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I appreciate you guys watching. And this journey is interesting, man. Life is interesting, bro. As I'm sure you know by your own life. Life is interesting, bro. But my goal is to be able to talk about God, talk about my life, and just live, live and be the best that I could possibly be. Help you guys, help myself by talking about the things that I'm going through. I have so many visions. I just want to get them all out. You know what I mean? I don't want to be old on my deathbed and be like, damn, I should have did this. I should have did that. That's torture, bro. That's torture, bro. Life is hard now, but that's a different type of reality to live. So I'm gonna tighten up, guys. I know I'm rambling a lot in this, but I'm gonna tighten up. Appreciate y'all being here. If you want to like the video, do it if you want. If you want to subscribe, do what you got to do. I know this is not my best quality, but I'm trying to readjust as I'm getting back into the space of being creative, and life is taking a change after these completely unexpected last April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 7 months. Man plans and God laughs, boy. I got my ass whooped these past months, boy. God damn. Anyways, through the highs of highs and the lowest of lows, this is life. Mr. Dale OG, I'm out of here, gang.